Hey guys, I hope you're seeing me and I hope the lighting is a bit better this week. Fixing my camera so you guys are seeing me clearer. Hey guys, thanks for joining. I'm 3 minutes late because my tripod decided it wasn't gonna cooperate with me tonight, so I'm a tad bit late. So I'm jumping on. Hi Lexi, I'm jumping on Facebook so my Facebook fam can join me on here too. Hey guys, welcome. I've not done a live in a while. I am so sorry. But I am back now. So I'm just jumping on. So my noise when my computer decides it's gonna stick. Really? Hey guys, hi Miss Chris. Thank you guys for joining. I have a very interesting live for you guys tonight, and for some reason this stupid thing Facebook is sticking for some reason. Anytime now. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about content marketing. Live. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with anyways, want to talk to you guys. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Facebook because it's sticking and it's not loading and I don't know what's happening with it. I may just have to disappoint my Facebook peoples tonight because Facebook be tripping. So I wanted to talk to you guys tonight about content marketing. What is it and how you can develop a strategy to help you get the best of it online, really. Check in. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay guys, something is going on with Facebook and it's not cooperating with me tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but anybody's experiencing problems with Facebook or is it just me? And why now? For heaven's sakes. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening with Facebook and why it's not allowing me to go live. Wait, what? I'm trying to set up Facebook Live. We were fine a minute ago, and now it's just, hey, did say their load is record breaking right now. Oh, and they were reducing photo and video quality. Maybe their servers are having issues. Yeah, something is going on with them, because I'm just gonna start. Okay, I'm just gonna start. I'll post a video there or something, but Facebook is not cooperating at all. Yeah, it's not. All right. So we don't have a lot of time, so let's just quickly get into it. So again, hi guys, welcome to hashtag Thursday Night Live, Digital Jamaica Thursday Night Live, and this is where we have really awesome conversations about how you can go about growing and leveraging your brand in the digital space. This live, I'm going to be talking about creating a content strategy, or is the same thing as content marketing strategy. And basically what that is developing the right content for your target audience. That's pretty much what it is. You should not be creating content in a vacuum. Content should not be random. It should not be something that you just post on the fly. It needs to be well thought out. It needs to be structured, and there needs to be some kind of strategy as to what this thing is supposed to be for. Otherwise, you're just annoying people and it's unnecessary, right? So there are certain key steps that you need to take in order to build out your content strategy. Now, the first step one, is defining your goals, and we're starting now. So you have to define your digital goals. Why do you want to go online? Whether it's a website, whether you want to do email marketing, whether you want to do social media, why are you going online? What's your purpose in the online space? So there are two questions you need to ask yourself. What are my business and brand objectives if you're a business or a brand? And how can going digital help me meet those objectives? So those are the two questions you need to be asking before you even sign up for any platform or anything like that. You need to be able to answer those questions first. Now, some of the most common reasons why people go digital is increased visibility. If you're not online, say it with me, you don't exist. And persons that have been following me for some time, oh, your stream is lagging. Yeah, Flow is not doing so well. And Instagram told me when I tried to log on earlier that they couldn't because it was full. I don't know. So I'm sorry about that, King Sam. All right. So the most common reasons why people go digital. Number one, increased visibility. If you're not online, you don't exist. If you've been following me for some period of time, you would have heard me say this over and over and over and over again, right? And this is the thing. When clients come to me, or when I reach out to persons and go, hey, I think you should be online. I think you should have an online presence. And they say something to me like, oh, but I have a prime location. Well, COVID-19 says no, because even with your prime location now, ain't nobody coming to your store. I mean, you could be on High Street, nobody's coming to your store. So having a prime location on High Street doesn't matter anymore. If you are not online, and if you don't have the ability to reach people online, whether it's a global pandemic or hurricane or whatever disaster can happen, or in normal life where everybody's online now, it's easier to reach people online, and it's easier to increase the visibility of your brand online. So that's one of the reasons why people go on. The next one, clearly, more money. When you're online and you're reaching out and you're engaging and people are seeing you and people know you exist, you can increase your sales. You can. It's not automatic. You can increase your sales, right? Because you're reaching more people too as well. The third thing, traffic to your website. Having a social media, especially, I'm a social media kete. Anybody can tell you I'm absolutely obsessed with social media because it is such a powerful, almost free-ish tool that anybody can access from anywhere, and you have access to millions and millions of eyeballs that can be on your product at any given time without you even doing much of anything. You can post something and leave it, well, not leave it because you have to engage, but you can post and that will be out in the ethernet like forever, right? So people are constantly interacting with you whether you're online or not. It's the same thing for your website, okay? So you can use social media to increase traffic to your website. All right. And social media also helps you to improve your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. These are like the keywords that people would use to find you online. Having a social media presence will help you improve that. If you are on LinkedIn, trust me, sometimes the first thing that shows up in a Google search is a LinkedIn page. So you have to make sure that you are on social media and not just on it like you create a page and leave it, but you're on it and you're current. All right. Fourth, more leads, or the ability to now convert leads. These are two different things. So you can get more leads using social media or a website or whatever, or you can convert leads that are already warmed up, because kind of the point of social media is to warm up those leads, get them interested, get them hooked, and then send them to your website where you can sell them something, right? So somebody said something to me, I'm not sure. So you can do that with, going online. Next thing is directing brand or business perception. This is the thing. The perception of your business or brand is what your customer, your audience think of you. It's not what you think of you. Nobody cares what you think of yourself. It's what the consumer thinks of you when they think of your brand or your business. Largely that's organic. You can't really control that, but you can certainly help to direct the conversation, and social media can help you to do that, or being online can help you to do that, because you're putting out, of course, you're putting out content that makes you look good. You're putting out your best online, okay? And now with the ability to directly communicate with people and interact with them more intimately, you are also shaping their perception of you and your business. And the last thing is, it's cost-effective marketing. Social media, as I said, is almost free. Even if you're running ads on social media, it's way cheaper than running an ad on a TV or radio, right? So if you're a small business or a small brand and you're just getting started, it is so easy to get set up on social media. It actually lowers the barrier to entrance. Before, if you weren't like a big corporation with a big marketing budget, you weren't really reaching much people except through, again, community engagement. That same community engagement on the ground is what you're shifting to online. It's the same things you have to do to build up that community engagement online, right? So it's cost-effective marketing, especially if you're small or you're just starting out. All right. So that's number one, defining your business brand objectives, because now you have to align those objectives with the content that you're going to be creating. All right. So what is number two? Niching down. I talked about niching in a live previously. And basically what niching is extreme targeting of a particular market segment. So say, for instance, you are in the food industry, right? But you now know that there are persons with gluten allergies, or a person who, like me, who's pre-diabetic, will have carb problems, okay? You can now create products or services within the food industry specifically for people like me with gluten intolerance or with carb intolerance or whatever. That is you niching down. Now you're in this huge industry, but you're niching down to one specific target audience, and it's usually an audience that is either overlooked because they're so small within that market segment, so they're overlooked, or nobody's really paying attention to them because as yet they don't know how to reach them. You can zone in on those people and target it, and you can have a hit. And this is the thing, it doesn't have to be a huge audience of thousands and thousands. It can be an audience of hundreds, and you can still make a killing, because now you have a dedicated fan base, and that's what you're creating online, a fan base. All right, so these are the questions you need to ask yourself when you're niching. Now, this is still a part of the content strategy. Now, before you even get to creating the content, you have to do these things. Okay. What do you want your brand to be known for? So I want my brand, Digital Jamaica, to be known as an information resource for people who are in the digital and tech space. You want to know, how do I get from A to B within this career? So I want to become a software engineer. Okay, what do I study? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? On the podcast, I talk to people who can give you this information. On the blog, I talk to you about marketing and strategy. Okay, on my social media page, I'm sharing with you you tools that you can use, and how you can improve your content and how you can improve your brand. That's what my brand is now known for. That's the feedback I've been getting, which means I'm reaching some of my brand objectives. All right. So that's what I want to be known for. Okay. What industry does my brand belong to? Well, my brand belongs to the tech and digital space. That's where I operate from. I am all online. I have no physical space whatsoever. So I am in the business of content marketing, content development, content strategy planning. Okay. But I'm targeting a specific group of people. I'm talking to Jamaicans, because I realize that we need a lot more information, and we need to be able to learn how to filter information. Because there's YouTube, there's Google, you can find information anywhere, but is it accurate? Is it appropriate for the market? Can we use it? Chances are the answer is no. So my job is to take that information, translate it to Jamaican, okay, and then give it to you so you can use it. All right. So that's the industry. Is there a specific group of people being ignored by that industry that your product or service can help? That's the next question, and I think I probably just answered that. The answer is yes. You have Jamaican businesses who are afraid to go online because they may not trust the online space. You have Jamaican brands who can thrive online. You're a musician, you're an artist, you're a hairdresser, you're a stylist, you're a nail tech. You can thrive in the digital space, but nobody's really talking to you as yet. So I decided that I was going to look at, okay, where are the gaps? Where are the gaps in the industry, and who are the people that are falling through those gaps that nobody's paying attention to? And then I'm targeting those people. So those are the 3 questions you need to ask yourself. What you want to be known for, what industry does your brand belong to, and who are the people in your industry that are falling through the gaps that nobody is talking to. All right. So what you want, so the thing is this too. It is, again, cost effective, because catering to a larger marketer audience will require some investment in terms of marketing, okay? As well as more technology and maybe more personnel, because now you're reaching a wider target audience. You're going to have to go bigger, because if you go small with a wider target audience, you're going to get lost in a sea of competitors, right? So who is it suited for? If you're a small business or brand, niching works it works best for you, okay? Because it's almost you're the messiah now to these people who have been looking to be led by somebody and nobody was reaching out to them, okay? So what are the pros? Again, better concentration of marketing efforts, more personal and direct communication, easier to build relationship now because now we're friends. We're cool. You know me, I know you, or at least that's the perception, that we know each other, that we're cool. You will take my recommendation. You will use a product or a service that I recommend or that I offer because you trust me. The trust factor increases tenfold when you niche. All right. Higher customer loyalty, again, higher customer retention, okay, and the word gets around about you quicker, okay. That's why you need to niche down. So remember, number 1, defining your brand objectives, your brand and business objectives are number 2 is niching down. Number 3, we're still on your strategy here. Number 3 is audience targeting. Now, this is probably the most important thing to do. I see people jumping online and then just start talking. Okay, then them just talking. They're not talking to anybody in particular. Them just are settings, right? And when you say to them, so who are you trying to reach? Everybody. So people, you know, the people them will buy things. You know what I mean? You're gonna get lost. You're gonna be swimming in a stream of people and nobody gonna pay you no mind. All right. So you need to be able to define. You need to be able to know and be able to reach your target audience. All right. So how do you do that? So these are the questions that you need to ask, and these are all questions that you're gonna have to ask to help you build out the strategy now. Question number 1: who are you talking to? Who is your message targeted to? And the funny thing is that that's circular. So your message needs to be targeted towards a particular group, but that group dictates the message. You see, it is circular. So you have to understand the group first before you know what you want to say to them, so you can target them with that specific message, okay? What are the problems they are having that you have a workable solution for? Don't go to these people, go provide them the same solution everybody else is providing them. Okay? Can you do anything different? Can you do anything special? Can you add to it? Okay? Can you be more specific in what you're offering? It has to be a workable solution. And even if it's something that somebody else is doing, how is yours better than that other person? All right? Where are they? Where are these people that you're targeting? Because you may be doing so wonderful. You may think, oh, Instagram is so great. It's the second largest platform in Jamaica. It's one of the fastest growing in the world. Oh, I'm just going to jump on Instagram with its 1 billion monthly active users. Girl, bro, you're going to get lost. Okay? And what if your target audience is not on Instagram? What if they're on LinkedIn? What if they're on Twitter? You know what I mean? You need to know where they are. And the last question is, what do they do? Who are these people? What them do? You know? And that last question is where you're going to now have to create your, what they call a buyer persona. Or in this case, it's an audience persona. Because this is what I want you to know. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more. Your social media audience may not be your customer base. But they're very special and even more important than your customer base for several reasons, and I'm going to get into that shortly. But let's talk about creating an audience persona. This is the thing. If you could build, say you could build a bear, you could build a man or build a woman who would be your perfect, ideal customer, who would that person be? What would that person look like? How would that person think? Where would that person hang out? So I tell clients that they need to be doing a day in the life of. So you're going to sit and you're going to think about, who am I targeting? Okay, I'm targeting uptown people who have like maybe extra spending money. Okay, they have extra resources so they can buy things, extra things. Okay, so they can, it's not just the basic necessities, you know, food, clothes, shelter, but them can buy cruise, and them can buy Bridget sandals, and them can, you know, go daylight break party, whatever, I don't know, what you call the lunch break, that them can go there because they have the means by which to do it. Okay, so okay, what does this person look like? She drives, or he or she drives. Is it a he or a she? That's another question. Is it a he or she? What kind of vehicle they probably drive? Because that sometimes that's a strong indicator of income bracket. I'm just saying, vehicle you drive, which way you live, is a strong indicator of income bracket. Although sometimes I'm like, oh, we're not getting to that. Just saying, right? So they work. Where do they work? Probably is a manager at a bank, or they own their own business or something. They're executives, smarty, yeah, high professional smarty, maybe in government. You never know, right? What does that person do on the weekends? Well, on the weekends they go for brunch, you know, at Cafe Blue, okay, or they go to they take their Apple laptops and they go to some cafe and they sit down and have lattes. These people. So you're going to work out a day in the life of that people and what that looks like. Okay, because this is, and I want you to give that person I want you to pick one representative out of that primary target audience, because this is the thing, you can have several target audience, but I want you to focus on your primary and secondary audience, and I want you to give them a name. Pick one representative of your primary group and one representative of your secondary group. Name them something. Her name is Sarah, or her name is Brittany, or her name is give me one of them big woman name there. Marcia. I don't know, give me a big man name. One of them big man name there, yeah? What sounds strong, yeah? And give them a name, because I want you to start personalizing that person. I want you to start having that person in your head. So when you're creating content, you know, say, you can't create no foolishness for Marcia, worker JMMB, who is a branch manager, will drive our Beamer, will go for brunch on the weekends. Yeah? You can't create no foolishness. Get matter. So I want you to start having that person in your head. Karen, Susan, Sandra, yes. Get them one of them big man name there, yeah? So this is why creating an audience persona is important. It helps you to position your brand, because you can't have normal setup now. So your Facebook page have a popping, your Instagram page have a hype, because you're trying to reach hype people. So it helps you to understand, how do I position my brand? So when Karen land on my page, Karen go, oh, shut up, our thing up. All right, me can relate. Karen needs to be able to relate to you. And if you come and you look broke, and your page look broke, and you look packed down, you're not gonna catch Karen. You're not gonna catch Sandra. What is that name? You're not gonna catch Susan. You know what I mean? So it helps you to position your brand. It also helps you to understand needs assessment. What does this person need that I can provide for them? Because if you understand them, you know what their needs are in the digital space. Because Karen might hype and shit, you know. Karen might have the latest, she have tablet, okay, she have phone, she have about 3 phone, all of them high-end phone. She don't know how to use it except for make call and probably WhatsApp. And she have the Apple, the laptop sitting. Karen don't know nothing about for check her email, right? So she may have access to these things, but she may not know how to use them, and this is where you come in. For sure, Karen, or her nice little beauty shop where she have, or her nice little name brand store she have, or she can take her little picture and post it on Instagram and get more people. That's where you come in now, if that's what you're targeting Karen for. Alright? So needs assessment. The next thing, keywords. It helps you understand, it helps you to define, you know, what keywords you need to use for each Karen. So you're gonna probably use words like luxury, you're gonna probably use words like I don't know, high-end, uptown, party girl, boss, hashtag boss babe. I hate that hashtag. I hate that hashtag. Hashtag boss babe, hashtag boss bitch, hashtag YOLO, you only live once, hashtag Kingston 20, whatever, you know. So it helps you with the keywords that you're gonna need to use to target Karen, okay? It helps you with language. How are you talking to Karen? You know, you have to talk like this when you're talking to a Karen, because Karen don't understand patois. Because Karen talks like this all the time, right? Yes, so you may have to talk like this when you're talking to Karen. So it sets the tone, and it sets the language that you use when you're talking to. So you can't say, hey Karen, come look here. You have to say, may I interest you in, you know, the Queen's English, that one. So language and tone, it helps you with that as well. It helps you to identify content gaps as well, because if you know who these people are, you know what they're missing out on that nobody is gonna stop laughing for me that nobody else is providing. It helps you understand where they are most likely to be and how easy or difficult it is going to be to reach them. Because if Karen don't know how to go up on Instagram on her fancy laptop, you're probably not gonna reach Karen on Instagram. You may have to email Karen. Yeah, so that's, you may have to collect her email or maybe call her or something, right? The last thing, it helps you understand the resources that you have available, because now if you have to produce more better content for each Karen or Susan or whatever, you're gonna have to look at what resources you have to be able to do that. You may have to outsource it because you may not have the type of resources in-house, the tools, the software, whatever, to be able to create that kind of high-end quality content. All right, so these are some things that you need to note. One, and I said it earlier, your social media audience may not necessarily be your customer base, although the two will definitely overlap. One doesn't equate to the other. But the best thing about your social media audience is that they are your ambassadors. If you play your card right and you are consistent and you provide them with value, oh my God, you have super fans now, and these people will tell the world about you. Now imagine you have 100 dedicated social media followers. You don't need more than 100, can I tell you? You don't even need more than 50. What's 100? 100 dedicated people, like die-hard, ride or die people. These people have how many people in them family? How many friends? Them work with how much people? They're going to be telling all these people about you. Somebody say, hey, when we can get a nice smoothie from, so my follow one girl on Instagram was sell smoothie them nice, you need to check her out. That's how much value they can provide for you, and that's way better than chasing customers. There's a guy by the name of Chris Do. I don't know how much of you guys know him. If you're not following him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. He did he had a conversation the other day he had a YouTube live stream the other day, and he was talking about customer versus audience. He's like, stop chasing customers, build a community and build an audience, and they will get customers for you. You don't have to do nothing. Once you have them, they will get customers for you, because they're now going out there and spreading the word everywhere, recommending you to everybody. And that's even more value than chasing a one or a two customer. Yeah, they will buy something from you. They'll probably buy one of your cheapest products or something, but they're gonna get other people to buy your other stuff from you. You know what I mean? Because they're recommending you so hard. And word of mouth recommendation is still the best kind of recommendation, even with all the fancy marketing gadgets and tools, right? Okay, your audience may not be in the same place. They may not all be on Instagram. They may not all be on Facebook. They may be dispersed right across social media networks, okay? You need to now make sure that your content is flexible, that you can post on Facebook, you can post on Instagram, you can post on LinkedIn without losing quality or relevance. Because this is the thing. A piece of content on Instagram may not have the same relevance as it would on Facebook, or as it would on LinkedIn or Snapchat or TikTok or wherever you want to drop your thing, wherever is more suitable, right? So you have to make sure that the relevance is there. So you have to create content that in the main is relevant no matter where these people are, because what you don't want to be doing is continue over and over again to be creating content. Creating content is hard work. It's a lot of work, and if you're not doing it full time, it is even harder. So work smarter by creating content that is universally relevant no matter where your target audience is. So no 4D quote about life and climbing mountains and following your dream. Not really. So you have to really go deep with the content so it maintains its relevance across platforms, right? And I'm not saying you can't do quotes, but some of these quotes don't be hitting nobody. Some of these quotes be missing. Like what? Okay. All right. Don't do that. Okay. All right. So some of them may not even be online. You have a lot of people that are not online. Blows my mind, but those people exist. Okay, how are you gonna reach them? They may be available via email. They may answer a WhatsApp message, but they're not necessarily social media users. Certainly not heavy social media users. You have to find other ways of reaching them. And this is the thing, and this is what I want you to understand. Your content marketing strategy does not exclude traditional media. Get that? Doesn't exclude traditional media. But that's for another live. Okay, the other thing, collecting and mining data is going to be very important. So if you already have a customer base, right, and you're already collecting feedback, guys, I'm hoping you guys are collecting data and feedback. And this is the good thing about social media, because social media does it for you. And this is the thing, if Instagram and Facebook and all these other platforms are giving you so much data, imagine the data that they have that you don't have access to. Hey, blows your mind if you really think about it. But make sure you're collecting data. Yeah, make sure you're asking for feedback and working on the feedback. If it's not all the great or all the way positive, work to improve it. But if it's positive feedback and it's going to help you with your social proofing, shut it out there. Every now and again you'll see me post a feedback that somebody gives me. You know what that is doing? It's building my brand. It's building my brand. It's building the social proofing for my brand. And social proofing is really Anybody else know her? Anybody else know her? Anybody else use her? Oh, she do. She good? She good? She not good? She good? Alright, good. I check her, because if you say she good, she good. That's social proofing. Yeah? So I social proof my brand by sharing feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Okay? This is number 3, Vanessa. Number 3. Collecting and mining data. Now, if you're going to be doing that, please don't make the UN people them finding the millions of dollars on a need of a policy in place, a privacy policy in place. When don't use and abuse the people them data, because they will soon now. Okay, people, more and more people are gaining back control of their data. So if they're willing to share it with you, you have to be careful how you use it and how you store data. Okay, that's for another live altogether. Okay, again, you can have, and this is number 5, this is number 4 now, Vanessa. You can have multiple audiences, but you have to rank them in terms of importance. So primary, secondary, etc., etc. I rank them primary, secondary, and then third group, and then fringe people, where if them jump on, if my net catch them inadvertently, great, but I'm not necessarily targeting those people. You know what I mean? My primary group is who I am creating content for, but my content is such where my secondary group will benefit from my content as well. But in the main, I'm creating content for my primary group. All right. And then number 6 is the type of, me can't count up backside. Number 5, type of content. Okay, what is the best content for your brand? Okay, and that depends on your objective, your niche, and your target audience. So you see why you have to take it in steps and not just jump and start create. All right. The last thing is number 6 is distribution. The type of content you'll be creating is depending on where your audience is or where you're most likely to reach them. Is it social media? Is it web? Is it email? Is it by phone? Okay, so that's distribution. Now we're going to be talking about, oh no, sorry, actually, foolish is my telling you, I was actually talking about content type. You see what happened when you know format your notes? Oh Lord. So I'm actually talking about type of content now, guys. Sorry. So the last one in the persona, what I want you to know is you can have multiple audiences. So now I'm talking about type of content. Okay. So I asked the question, what is the best type of content for your brand? And again, that depends on your objective, your niche, and your target audience. Where are you distributing the content? That depends. Are they on social media? Are they reachable via the web, maybe by a website? Are they reachable via email or by a phone? You need to understand that too. Now, moving quickly, there are 2 types of content, like large categories of content. There's long form content and there's short form content. Long form content is what I create for my brand. The Digital Jamaica brand creates long form content. This live is long form content because it's more than a certain amount of time, and it takes more investment from you, the viewer, to consume that content. All right, so let's get into the pros and what is long form content and the pros and cons. Okay, so long form content is developed to provide the consumer with deeper knowledge, with more information about you, your product, or whatever topic you're trying to put out there. Okay, it can be written, usually 2,000 plus words or more, like a blog post. I have a blog. I put a lot of blog posts on it, and they're usually long, because what I try to do is I try to give you a fulsome information. So when I just give you some and I give you some, I tell you everything you need to know. Okay, and whatever I don't put there, you can contact me and we can get more information. But I usually try to be as thorough as possible because I want you to have a fulsome picture of what it is that I'm talking about. So it could be a blog post, it could be digital products like ebooks, workbooks, guides, reports, studies, whatever. This is long form content. Okay, it can also be video based, so YouTube videos that are more than 5 minutes, podcasts, the Digital Jamaica podcast, which is usually 20 minutes or more. So that's audio. It also includes tutorials, talks, webinars, speeches, presentations. All right. And this is the thing, because of the immense effort that goes into producing longer form content, some form of exchange is probably required to obtain same. So one of the benefits now of long form content is that it allows you to collect data, because if I'm creating an ebook, let's say, or a guide or something, this is usually a part of my sales funnel. So this is what they call a lead magnet. So let's say I want to give you some tips on creating a marketing strategy. I could turn that into like a 1 or 2 page PDF document that I put a subscription wall in front of. So you can't access this unless you subscribe to my blog or subscribe to whatever. So I'm collecting data from you. So it's an exchange, value for value. You give me your email and contact information, I give you this value. Okay. So you usually do that with longer form content. All right. Another pro of long form content is that it boosts your SEO. When you go on Google, so if you should go on Google right now and search content marketing strategy, tons of blogs are going to come up that's talking about content marketing strategy. So if you get your keyword strategy right, and you have your website set up properly where it flows, because it's one thing getting people on your website, but if your website don't flow people, you're going to have a higher bounce rate. People are going to just come off of your website, right? But long form content helps you boost. You can turn long form content in what they call evergreen content. Evergreen content that remains relevant no matter which year. You have some blog posts that were written in 2010 that is still relevant today, because they're really talking about like basics or best practices or industry standard kinds of things. So they remain relevant no matter the year. Okay. So, and that helps you boost your SEO. Long form content also helps you to establish your authority within an industry, your thought leadership within a particular industry. Because if you're writing more about an industry, you're writing more about a practice, you're writing more about something, or you're talking more about it, people will now come to see you as the authority for that particular thing. So long form content helps you establish your authority. What are some of the cons? It takes long for create. That's the biggest con. It takes longer for create. It takes more thought and it takes more research. That means more resources. And that's where it can get a little bit expensive, because if you want to create nice YouTube videos, you're going to have to get nice lighting, and you're going to have to get DSLR camera, get a proper mobile phone so you can create better content, stuff like that. So it can be a little bit more expensive. Okay, more effort now goes into it, because you have to probably do some more research. It takes you longer to write out, because now you have to be very careful in what you say and all of that. So it takes longer and it takes more resources, it takes more time. Okay, short form content now. Short form content is content that is easily consumed. It can be consumed on the go. And that's the thing with long form content. It requires more investment from the consumer, the person who's taking in the content. It requires more investment from them in terms of, okay, now I have to actually sit down and read this blog post, or now I'm gonna have to sit down and listen to this podcast. Okay, so what it does is that when you create this long form content, people will save it and then come back to it later, which is actually a plus. So they will save it for a time when they can be better able to consume it. And you actually want that. You want people to save your stuff. And this is a metric I don't see a lot of people paying attention to. You see, when you post something on social media, and we're talking about short form content now, when you post something on social media, if people save it more than they like it, those are better engagements for you, because it means that people value your content enough where they're going to save it to go back to it at a later time. So it's always in their thing. They can always access it, even if they're not coming to your page necessarily. So I think saves are way better than likes. That's for another life, okay? But that's my opinion on that. So short form content is content that is easy to consume. A 1 minute video. Yes, you say so much things. it can be because Instagram makes sure that your content is short form. They don't play. 1 minute on your feed, 16 seconds in your stories if it's a video. Okay, one post or one photo, or no, they do the carousel. And the thing with the carousel is it has to be quick information to consume, because if people keep swiping with these long epistles, first of all, nobody gonna read that because you don't have the space to write out a long epistle in your carousel anyway. And in order to get people to keep swiping, it have to be information that they can quickly consume and process. Quickly consume and process. With long form content, it takes more brain power to process it. But with short form content, easy to consume, it can be something light and entertaining and funny or catching that they can learn quickly. Okay? The pros of short form content. No, again, short form content can be a post. It can be within video format, or it can be a photo, it can be a quote, it can be a link to somewhere. All of these things can be short form content. It can be infographics, it can be sharing some quick tips. Again, it can be a carousel, it can be something that you post to your stories. But the thing with short form content is that it gives people, especially when you're using your stories, it gives people glimpses into who you are. It makes people better understand you. And that's the thing with because it's so easy to consume, people consume more of it, and the more of it is like you're painting a landscape, so they can get a bigger picture of who you are. So that's the advantage of short form content. Another pro of short form content is that you can post it on just about any social media platform, with the exception of like Facebook and LinkedIn that gives you space to post longer form content. Think Red Table Talk on Facebook, that's solely on Facebook. Or think LinkedIn articles, where you can actually post articles on LinkedIn. These two platforms give you space to do longer form content. But if you're talking about Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat or TikTok, will give you like what, 6 seconds or how many seconds, right? I get 3 times the engagement in my story versus post. Yes, please to say that again. No, it's not weird. It's because it is so easily consumed, and this is the trick. When I am on my feed, I can see the stories up the top, and I don't have to go to your page to view what you are saying in the stories. I can click on your stories, swipe through like I can go through many different stories in the same time it's going to take me to go to each person's individual profile. That's why you get more engagement with your stories. Right? And it's usually more entertaining because it's something you snap. So you're walking somewhere, you're having a conversation, or you're making something, you snap your picture yourself making something. It's usually more interesting. To be quite honest, your stories are usually more interesting stuff than what you post, because your post, it is such valuable real estate. Your feed is such valuable real estate. You don't want to post foolishness in this, so you don't want to post things that you want to get rid of within 24 hours in your feed. Use your stories to do that. Okay, the things that we don't want to stay on your page, use the stories. And because I can be on my feed and look at the stories, and I don't have to go to each person's individual feed, you get way more engagement with your stories. All right. So again, that's one of the pros, more engagement. Well, actually, long form content gets more engagement, but over a longer period of time. Okay, so it will eventually get more engagement than the short form content, because again, especially if it's on the web or on a YouTube, more people gonna keep coming to it, and people will come to it over and over and over and over again. Short form content get more engagement in the shorter term. Okay, and that can give you a quick boost too, especially on your social media profile. All right. So cons is, if you only post short form content, people are not going to really get to really know you. It's not going to help to really establish you as a brand. No, it depends on industry too, because some industry this works fine. They don't have to have a blog, you don't have to know, this works fine for them. Eventually though, I think IGTV is long form content, because if you have less than 10,000 followers, you get up to 10 minutes on IGTV. That's a long form video. Okay, or you can post quick short videos on IGTV. It's up to you. And this is Instagram introducing features that will help keep people on the platform. Guys, the objective of social media is to keep people on the platform. The longer they can keep you engaged on the platform is the more money they can make from you. They sell you to advertisers to say, listen, we have 1 billion active people on this platform at any time. This is what they're looking at. This is what they're interested in. This is who you should push to. Right? So What makes a social media network viable is the users, how many users they have, how long users are staying on the platform, and they're going to create features to keep you on the platform longer. The algorithm will reward you if you create content that helps them to keep people on the platform longer. That's just the truth. So if you're creating really awesome content that people love and people won't keep coming back to the platform for, oh, the algorithm loves you. You probably end up on an explore page. It just loves you because the more engagement you get, okay, is the more places it's going to reach. The more people you interact with is the more places it's going to reach. Okay, so the algorithm loves you because you're keeping people on the platform. So you need to be creating content that keeps people on the platform. It doesn't matter, especially IGTV, especially Instagram, okay? But any social media platform you have, why do you think they allow us to post things on there? You know how much server space that? Imagine how much things we post and how much server space that is. Somebody have to pay for it, you know, it's not free. It might be free for you for use, but it's not free for run. Why do you think they allow us to do that? Because the more content you create, the more people you can keep on the platform swiping through, clicking like, reading, laughing, commenting upon it. They're making money from it. So create content that is reaching your audience, that will attract and engage your audience, and you will build a community. And once you have an engaged community, believe me, the algorithm will reward you for it. So some of the cons of short form content. It goes quickly. It's in and out of the brain. It may not stick in somebody's brain. You know, it's because it's like cheap food. It's quick to it's nice to eat. You digest it, you poop it out quicker. It has no nutritional value for the most part. You know what I mean? Because it's so quick, it probably doesn't imprint on the brain. That's one of the cons of short form content. Another con of short form content is that you are unable to fully express your brand message or your brand knowledge base with short form content. So what I would suggest you do is have a healthy mix of long form versus short form content. Even if you don't want to have a blog or have a podcast, because that takes work. That takes work. You can use up the features. IGTV is a feature. You can do lives. Lives, as I said, are long form content. You can do digital products that you can send out to people. You use up the social media features that allow you to do longer form, give you more time to do content. You don't have to, I would still say, please get a website. Social media is rented space. Get your own website, okay? But if you don't want to be like me where you're constantly posting blogs and podcasts and stuff, there are features on some of these platforms that will allow you to post longer pieces of content. We have a newsletter in addition to IG. A simple newsletter. It could be email. It could just be a simple thing as email. Email is the highest lead converting tool in the world. Email. The problem I have with email and Jamaicans is that they don't read email. They see it, then read it. Them open it, then look on it, then read it. Two different things. Just saying. But you need to have a healthy balance. So what I would suggest is you use really. You have to teach them how to communicate via email. You have to literally teach them. And you guys should be doing that too. You need to be teaching your audience how to communicate on the platforms, because some of them don't know that if them follow too much people, them not gonna get to see the people them when them like, especially on IGTV. IG pushes content to your feed based on interaction, relationship. So the people them that interact with your profile the most are the people them that are going to constantly see your thing. And Instagram has now introduced a way where you can clean up your feed quickly. You can call your list. So the people them when you don't interact with a lot, get them off your list so you can actually see the people them when you want to see. You have to educate your audience on what are some of the things that they need to do to be able to see you and interact with you better. Even with email, even with website, regardless of platform you're on. Remember, people are not necessarily familiar with digital space. It's prolific, but that doesn't mean that people know how to use it. Okay? So create a balance between long form and short form content. So we're moving on. So we're going to content planning. You guys need to plan out the content that you are going to be creating, and don't just random postings. What I do, I theme. So this week I'm focusing on a particular theme, and each post is going to be a part of that theme, but you may not even necessarily realize that it's a part of a theme. And the theme could be anything. The theme could be talking about tools, the theme could be talking about anything, and I'm creating different types of posts with a video or image or stories or IGTV to bring across that to you. So I theme out my week. And every now and again, something is going to pop up like COVID-19. And maybe you are in the health industry or the food industry or some industry that's relevant. Listen, some uno been on this COVID train and trying to get traction from COVID. Your brand has nothing to do with COVID. Tell them, say you're gonna pray for them and wish them all the best, Holy Mary, hallelujah, Jesus, and move on. Every day you're talking about COVID and you're going off brand just so you can get traction. People don't like that. People don't like that. Stay authentic to your brand. Okay? Uno see me post about COVID. I think I mentioned COVID twice. Intentionally, because I am staying on brand, and there are ways you can stay on brand and still be current with current news or whatever. There's a way to do it, but everybody all of a sudden on turn ministry information, on turn the JIS, right? Because you know repost when minister this say and what the tips them say and Chinese research, and I'm going, what does have to do with your page, brother? The same reason why people followed you before COVID is the reason why people need to be following you during COVID. If me start following you because you share really good content marketing tips, I really am not interested in you talking about COVID. Use a doctor? Use a medical professional? Is you a minister tough time? I'm not interested. The same thing you were posting before COVID is the same thing you need to be posting now. Not saying you're going to be insensitive. That's what your stories are for. Go talk about COVID in your stories. But I need to see it by your post. Just saying. Small rant. Now back to the regular schedule program. What was I talking about? Content planning. Plan out your content. You can have I have a free content calendar. You can DM me if you want it. I'll send it to you. And this is what I use to plan out my content, right? I also use a content creation tracker, and you guys know what a work breakdown schedule is. This is things that project managers use. So what they do is they break down each individual task and assign it out. So if you have a team of people, you can assign out the different tasks that they need to do. But what I do is I'm a team of uno, numero, uno, one. Okay, I don't know Spanish. And there's I know that somebody in here is gonna get on me because she's Spanish speaking, but numero uno is me, one person on my team. So I created my own content creation work breakdown structure. So this is how it looks. Okay, I want to create a video talking about collaborative software. Okay, what do I need to create the video? I need this tool. I use Canva or PowerPoint. Most of the things you see on my thing, most of my branding, my graphics, PowerPoint. Let me know if you want me to do a tutorial on how to create graphics in PowerPoint, because girl, bro, you're missing out. It's free and it's powerful. Anyways, so I know that I need to have my Canva. And what am I going to create it in? Am I creating it in Canva or PowerPoint? Sometimes I use both tools to create one piece of content. All right, so I have my tools. Okay, do I need to get graphic elements? Do I need to get an image or an illustration or something? What font am I going to use? Okay, do I need to do some research to get yes please, Miss Carrie. All right, if I have enough people, I'm gonna do a webinar on using PowerPoint to create content, because believe me, you understand. Okay, so you have so I have my resources in one. I have a column that says resources, I have a column that says tools, and I have a column that tells me time. So on this date, I am going to do research. at this date I am going to start creating the graphics on this day, and I literally list out every single task I need to complete to create a piece of content, and I schedule the date when it's supposed to be completed, the date is supposed to be posted, and I mean everything including my captions and my hashtags. Y'all not using your hashtags properly. Listen, I have 28 seconds remaining on this live because I've gone way overboard. But these are some of the things that you can do to create your content marketing strategy. If you want to learn more about how to do that, if you need help with doing it, I'm available. If you click the link in my bio, you can go to my services page and see all the services I offer and how that can help you get started. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. Bye.